Hey there, fourth grade. This is Mr. Campbell. Today we're going to be working on page 105. This is lesson 3.7, Choose a Strategy to Multiply. Now for today's lesson, what we want you to do is choose the strategy that works best for you. I'm going to walk through the three different ones that we've gone through this topic and show you those different ones. Now you don't have to do the ones that I do. I do want you to see them. I want you to walk through all these different ones with me again, but then you get to pick what makes most sense for you. So we're actually going to start right here on page 105, and we've got plenty of space here because we're going to start off with traditional multiplication. All right. So it says here, a Cineplex has 4 movie theaters. Each theater has 342 floor seats and 85 mezzanine seats. How many people can sit in this? How many can the Cineplex seat? Solve this problem. All right. So I see some different things here. I'm going to underline 4 movie theaters, 342 seats, floor seats, and then 85 mezzanine seats. The first question we need to know is, every single movie theater has how many total seats? So for that, I'm going to need to do some addition in this problem, right? 342 plus 85. So I'm going to do that over here. So 342, all right? And when I line up my 85, I'm going to start in the ones place because that's what has to be added first. 2 plus 5 is 7. 4 plus 8 is 12. Can I write 12 here? No, right? I can only put one digit. So the 2 stays here, and I regroup my 1. And then 3 plus 1 is going to be 4. So there's a total of 427 seats in each theater. But how many movie theaters did we say? Well, let's go back and double check that. It says 4. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. 427 seats. And we want to times that by how many movie theaters? By 4 movie theaters. All right. Now I've lined it up. And remember, I want to put my larger number on top when I do traditional multiplication. And then my other one goes down here. So 4 times 7. What is 4 times 7? Well, 4 times 7 is 28. Can I just write 28 here? No way, right? I've got to put one digit here. So my 8 will stay here. And my 2 goes up here because I have 28. All right. That's how we would write that. Now I'm going to say 4 times 2. What's 4 times 2? Well, 4 times 2 is 8, but I can't forget. I got to add that 2 more. So 8, 9, 10. Again, I can't put 10 here. So my 0 stays there and I plus 1 over here. Now I'm going to multiply, then add. Remember, these numbers up on top are after we multiply. We don't do that first. We multiply, then add. So 4 times 4 is 16, plus 1 more is 17. My plus 1 technically comes over, and I don't have anything there. So 4 times 0 is 0, plus 1 more is 1. So how many seats are there altogether? Well, there's 1,708, and then we put our label here, seats. Whenever we have a word problem, we almost always are going to need to have some sort of a label. And in this case, we're not talking about movie theaters. We're talking about seats. All right. Let's go ahead and flip over to page 106 and check out some other ways that we've practiced our multiplication. So here we are on page 106. All right. And we're going to take a look at the problems here and walk through 2 more of the strategies we've talked about that can help us when we multiply. All right. So it says, paying for the pothole damages to cars can be costly. The table shows the cost of some car repairs. What is the total cost of repairs? So here we've got our table, right? And so tires cost $125 each. And how many tires do we need? Well, 4. All right. Paint is $1,450 per coat. And we would need 2 coats of paint. So we've got our numbers here. Now we want to start to figure some things out. So we're first going to figure out the price of the tires, because we said if they run over a pothole, we need to get 4 of those, right? So what did they do? Well, they used the distributive property and place value to solve this problem. So when we look down here, I've got 4 times 125. Well, what I can do is I can break apart my 125 into 100 and 25. Those are 2 separate things. So break them into some easier numbers. And then what I can say is I can say, well, 4 times 100 is 400, and 4 times 25 is 100, and then I can add all those together. The distributive property tells me that I can break apart these place values and add them together at the end, which is kind of what we do when we do our partial products, which we're going to take a look at next. Okay, if you like this part, this works best when we've got numbers like 25 times 4 because that'll turn into some easy numbers for me. But if you're not exactly sure if they're easy numbers or not, well then area model with partial products might be the best choice for you. For this, we're going to find out the cost of the paint, which if we take a look at it, they just are putting Y here for the cost of the paint, but it's 2 coats times $1,450 for each coat. All right. So when we try to figure that out, we're going to say, okay, well, let's take our 1,450 and we draw our area here, or our rectangle, I should say, and the area is the inside. Like how much space does that take up? So each place value gets its own separate box. Then we take our multiplier, number 2, over here, and now we're just going to multiply each of those different parts, which is what they're writing for us down here, because we start off with 50 times 2, right? 50 times 2 is 100. 2 times 400 is 800. And then 2 times 1,000 is 2,000. If we add all of that up, it's 2,900. That's how much it costs for the paint, okay? So again, these are some different steps of ways that we can go about it. Maybe you see the numbers like this up here, and we can use place value and the distributive property. Maybe that works best for you. Maybe you really like the area model, or maybe you like traditional. No matter what it is okay. We just want you to be practicing and get more familiar with whichever way works best for you. So on the next page, I'm going to walk through all 3 of these one more time, and then you're going to have a chance to solve some problems on your own, whichever way works best for you. So let's go ahead and turn over to page 107 and check out what we've got over there. Now, the problems that we're going to work on are on page 107. So if you're not there, pause the video and get there now. I love working on multiplication. I oftentimes, though, find myself writing more than the space that I'm given, which you might notice is why I'm always grabbing some extra pieces of paper, because I like to be able to still write down the work that I'm doing. But sometimes it can get really messy and crazy, and so being as organized as possible can be super helpful. So I'm actually going to slide this over because I'm going to use this piece of paper just like I would love to see you be doing when you're choosing whichever one of these you want to do. So I'm going to show you some steps we can do. We're going to start with number 2. So over here, I'm actually going to write number 2, and then I put a little spot like this. This means, hey, this is problem number 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and rewrite my problem. So 74, and then I'm going to say times 6. All right. Now the first one we're going to do here is going to be the distributive property, all right, and place value. So what that means is I can say, well, I have 4 times 6. So 4 times 6, and I put parentheses to say that's what I'm going to work on. And then if I add that with my tens place, this is a 7 in the tens place, so that's actually 70 times 6. All right. The distributive property tells me I can break this into place values, multiply, and then add it all back together. So what is 4 times 6? Well, 4 times 6 is 24. And if you're not writing this down with me, pause your video right now because I want you to get on pace. This is your chance to practice this, so try it out, all right? Next, I've got a power of 10. There's a 0 here. So 7 times 6 is going to be 42. And then I have that 0 to put at the end, so it's 420. So my last step is to bring this all back together. So 24 plus 420. Well, in my ones place, I have 4 and I have 0. So 4 plus 0 is 4. In my tens place, I have 2 plus 2, and that's another 4. And then in my hundreds place, I have 0 plus 4, which is 4. So my grand total is 444. Oh, okay, easy enough. I mean, weird that it was 444, but hey, there it is. All right. I also like to circle my answer. I've got all of this together in one spot. So when I show my teacher later, they can go, oh, I clearly see you did number 2 all right here. Because if I made a mistake, it is a lot easier for teachers to help us if we've written it out like this. We're going to go on to number 3, and we're going to do area model for number 3. All right. So what do I need to do? Well, I need to slide this over. So because I'm using a camera right now, I'm going to slide my paper underneath. If you've got room on your own desk, you can go ahead and do this, just spreading it out on your own desk. But I'm going to come over here and I'm going to put in, I'm working on problem number 3, right? So I'm going to do number 3, and then I'm going to write my problem. So 819 times 5. All right. And again, it just buys me some extra space while I'm working because we're going to do area model. So for area model, I need to go ahead and draw my rectangle. And because I have so much extra space, I can make my boxes a little bit bigger. I'm going to take my larger number and break it into each of its place values. So over here, I'm going to have my 9. All right. Next up is my tens place, and that's just going to be a 10. And then my last one is 800. All right. And then my 5 goes on the side. Now I've just got to ask, okay, well, what's 5 times 9? All right, what's 5 times 9? Well, 5 times 9 is 45. What's 5 times 10? 5 times 10 is 50. And then I'm going to say, well, what's 5 times 800? Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I do see 2 zeros. So if I start with my zeros, then I can just say, what's 5 times 8? And 5 times 8 is 40. So if I write 40 there, it turns into 4,000 because 5 times 800 is 4,000. All right. Am I done? No, I got to add up all the things that are inside. I want to know how much area it's taken up. So the last step is to write out. I'm going to write 4,000 plus 50 plus 45. And I see I've got a lot of zeros here, which is awesome. So zeros plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 5 plus 4 is 9. 0 plus nothing is 0. 4 plus nothing is 4. Boom. I am finished. My final answer is 4,095. Now watch what happens when I remove this away. Hey, look at this. Number 2 is all organized. Number 3 is all organized. Ooh, where am I going to put number 4? Because I'm kind of running out of space here, right? Oh, no, I can just work right here. So when I write number 4, which I'm going to check out over here, number 4, I see it's written horizontally. I'm going to flip it so that it's vertical because I'm going to do traditional multiplication. So 309 times 4. All right. 309 times 4. I start in my ones place. 4 times 9 is 36. Can I write 36 here? No, I can only do one digit, so my 6 stays here, and my plus 3 goes up top. And I like to put my line there to remind myself, multiply, then add. So 4 times 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 3 more is going to give me 3. I go to my hundreds place next. 4 times 3. What's 4 times 3? Well, it's 12. Can I write 12 here? No, but I can put my 2 here and create a new place value for a plus 1. And anything that's in front, there's actually a 0 here. So 4 times 0 is 0. Plus 1 more is 1. So my final answer for that problem is 1,236. All right. Now, I have stopped right there. I'm going to ask you to solve number 5 however you choose. All right. You pick one of the problems. You pick one of the ways to solve it. You go ahead and solve it on your own. Pause your video right now. Go ahead and solve that problem. 3 times 354. Then press play because I'm going to tell you what the answer is just to see if you got it. It's not because I want you to write down the answer. It's because I want you to see, hey, was your math correct? So pause the video now. Work on that. Go ahead and do that now. All right, if you haven't paused it, do it right now. I want to try to do this one quickly because I don't actually know the answer, so I got to do it real fast. So I'm going to do 354 times 3. I really like area model. I really like distributive property. I just personally feel like this is the quickest one for me. So 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1. 3 times 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. So your answer should be 1,064. Oh, 62. I'm sorry, I wrote the wrong number there. 62. All right. That should be what you found. If you didn't get that, go back, see if you can find where you made a mistake. The rest of your time for today is going to be solving these multiplication problems, all right? We want you to have an opportunity to practice whichever way works best for you, all right? Solve these different ones, then check your work with your teacher. It doesn't matter if we get up into the thousands. It doesn't matter if we're in the hundreds. We solve it always the same way. All right, 4th grade. Well, thanks so much for working with me on topic 3. We will see you next time. Have a great rest of the day.